when you look at this picture, it's really hard to deduce that somebody like this would do something as heinous as what they did. And I'm going to give you guys some details. I'm going to try my best to keep it short, to just give you just flat out details. But it's just very crazy what this person did. I'm getting this story from WRAL.com. So thank you for the article. But let me give you a disclaimer before I talk about that lady you just saw on my screen. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. So, Raleigh, North Carolina. Again, thank you to WRAL.com for the article. Person that you guys see on my screen. On Thursday, a Raleigh woman faced a judge on charges that stemmed from accusations of burning and scarring a child with autism. And that is so ironic, the fact that this weekend we're doing an event to raise money and awareness for autism awareness. Shout out to Braden's Gift and everybody that's a part of that. And also, I want to give a shout out to the Puzzle Run and the Impact for hosting us. And I'm going to be participating, and we're all going to be trying to help raise money and awareness for this cause. Let's talk about this story. The fool that you guys see on my screen, her name is Treka. Treka. I think that's Treka or Treka. I think it's Treka. Treka Spraggins was in court for shocking findings from the county that she revealed she emotionally and physically abused her grandson over the span of several years and neglected to get him medical help that showed a reckless disregard for human life. The Raleigh police arrested Spraggins on Wednesday night at her home. Spraggins, who had no previous criminal record, probably because she ain't been caught, is facing 2 felony charges of intentional child abuse causing serious bodily injury and negligent child abuse. Court documents reveal harsh details about the accusations. The text said Spraggins poured boiling water on the child's hip, stomach, on their rear end, on their butt, leading to blistering of the skin and scarring. The child was only 9 years old at the time. The Wake County Assistant District Attorney Catherine Pomeroy explained that the child's mother recently filed a domestic violence protection order against the grandmother, who has legal custody of the boy. And you would have to ask, if she has legal custody, how did she get legal custody if you're a good parent? How did you lose custody? Where is the biological father at? You'd have to ask, how did you lose custody? You had to have been doing something wrong to lose custody. In a court appearance, the mother showed the judge her son's injuries, which the mother had only recently discovered since she did not have custody of the child. The child's mother is the daughter of Spraggins. Another charge accuses Spraggins of refusing to provide medical care on the burn. If convicted, the charge would carry a sentence up to 40 years in prison. And I think that would go ahead and knock her on off this planet Earth by that point, by the time she finishes that sentence. Pomeroy says she believes the boy, now 11 years old, was beaten with objects like bats and sticks, hands, and metal shelving. Additionally, the boy was starved on numerous occasions. And I want y'all to remember, before you get emotional about the grandma and about the mom, remember what they did to this boy who has special needs. Endured emotional abuse and will never completely heal from his injuries, according to her findings. During Pomeroy's statement, she said Spraggins told police She poured water on her grandson on accident and admitted she didn't get him proper care he needed. Because of the alleged negligence, Pomeroy said that the boy needed skin grafts and is permanently disfigured because she poured boiling hot water and burned the dog crap out of him. Pomeroy's notes about the emotional abuse and hardships the child endured were tough enough, were tough for people to hear in court. She told the child to play out in traffic, and that when he slept, she would cut his feet off. That woman, who everybody probably praised and patted her on the butt, making it seem like she's a great person. She's a pillar of the community. He was in so much pain, he started going to neighbors and asking to rake leaves so he could save money to go to CVS to buy burn cream. If that doesn't break your heart and hit you right here, I don't know what will. The boy stated he wanted to get a job to repair the injuries that this woman inflicted on him. I'm going to tell y'all something. That is the epitome of strength and an indomitable soul. That is hard for me to hear. And that makes me want to physically do something to this woman real bad. That is just terrible to hear. Spraggan's attorney, Catherine Bethea-Shields, said the allegations are false and that the child had behavioral problems. A hearing is scheduled in May with the Department of Social Services. Judge Rashad Halter overheard the arguments on Thursday. Spraggans is in jail under a $325,000 bond. Pomeroy felt that the bond amount was too low and requested that the bond be raised to $500,000. Her request was not granted. Spraggans, who's 73 years old, was previously an instructor at the University of Phoenix, raised in Wake County, and was a social worker for Wake County schools. I wonder how many of those children she screwed over. Let me give you guys the fair usage. I've got one video to play. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. I guess I could tell y'all a little bit of pain from my childhood. I had some paintbrushes back in the day, and the paint gets hard on the paintbrushes, and I didn't know how to get the paint off of there because I was trying to paint something. So I said, I'm going to boil some hot water, stick the paintbrushes in the cup that I poured the water in, and try to loosen up the paint to get the paint off of these paintbrushes just because I didn't know how else to do it. And somehow, with this big cup of piping hot water sitting there, I accidentally moved my hand back, and that cup spilled over into my lap and burned the absolute crap out of the inside of my legs and stuff. I screamed. I will never forget that. Screamed. It was the most painful thing ever. My mom ended up having to take me to the hospital, and they kept having to put this dressing, this white burn dressing on my legs. And I had to wear this wrap across my legs to help protect myself. The blistering, that's something I will never, ever forget what that pain feels like, to be burned by hot water. It's just ingrained in your memory. Something I will never, ever, ever forget. Hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section. Here we go, please.
A Wake County grandmother is in jail tonight, accused of taking a pot of scalding hot water and pouring it over her 9-year-old grandson who has autism.
Trecca Spraggins listed her job as an instructor, and in court today, her attorney said she was a former social worker within the Wake County school system. The state says this is not the only abuse she's accused of either. Chelsea Donovan joins us live with more on this disturbing case. Chelsea.
Yeah, it was said in court today that this boy was so badly burned and never received that medical attention that he would go to his neighbor's house, ask to mow their lawn for money simply so he could just buy burn cream. The prosecutor said that these burns were so severe that it will cause permanent bubbling of his skin. He will need skin grafts, and also he will be permanently disfigured.
Yes, ma'am. What's your name?
Trecca Spraggins.
In a striped jumpsuit from inside the Wake County Jail, 73-year-old Trecca Spraggins speaks to a judge.
This case involves an 11-year-old autistic child.
Last night, Spraggins was arrested by Raleigh police at her home on felony child abuse charges stemming from incidents that occurred over the past several years.
I will tell you that in 15 years, I've never had a safe child tell me that the diagnosis for this child is child torture.
Warrants show in January of 2020, Spraggins poured boiling water on the hip, buttocks, and abdomen area of her 9-year-old grandson, causing blistering and scarring of the skin, and that she refused to provide medical care for the burn inflicted. The burns were found in recent weeks as Spraggins' daughter filed a domestic violence protection order against her mother.
It was so severe that Judge Hamdani called and reported to CPS immediately.
Spraggins was his legal guardian. The ADA says she told police she poured water on her grandson on accident, but admitted she didn't get him the care he needed. The assistant district attorney says that's not the only alleged abuse.
He was beaten with numerous objects to include a bat, sticks, hands, a metal shelf. He was starved on numerous occasions.
Spraggins' attorney said the allegations are false and stated in court today the boy had behavioral.
You hear how they accused her of beating him? I'm going to give y'all an analogy here in a moment.
Problems.
Now, Spraggins remains in jail under a $325,000 bond. She has no criminal record. If convicted on these charges, she could face roughly 40 years in prison.
They need to give her all 40 of those years. And let me tell y'all this. The way that she beat him and the way and the type of things that she beat him with over all that period of time, pouring boiling hot water on him, don't that sound a lot like slavery? Huh? You are subjected to whatever your master does to you. Permanently disfigure your skin. Beat you with anything they could find. It sounds a lot like slavery, don't it? But it's so funny how people that share my skin color and share my, my heritage when it comes to the black community, how we talk so badly about slavery, but yet we have so many examples of people being arrested for inflicting the same things that we said were bad in slavery and put those type of things on children. Isn't that something? Let me add a little bit more to this to get y'all to understand how bad this is. Let me give you an example. I have had a number of things happen to me. I've been burned before. I fell into a fan before. I've been cut up before. All on my sides and my back and my hip. I almost forgot about that. Know the people at the school that it happened, I know they haven't forgot about it. They still remember that to this day. That was like 30 years ago. Anyway, I have been in a motorcycle accident at high speeds. And I have been burned by scalding hot water. You want to know what those things have in common? That pain is everlasting. That pain makes you want to give up. That pain gives you headaches. That pain makes you want to cry, makes you actually cry. That pain is unbearable. That pain doesn't go away. It is extremely difficult to deal with when your skin is ripped and separated apart from your body like that. From liquid, or it to me, it felt very similar when I was in my motorcycle accident, even though that was pretty damn serious too. And I had protective gear on, and I went sliding down pavement at 115 miles an hour. So only a person that has experienced this can tell you that what I felt like, and my skin was raw and it ate through my leathers and got down to my skin and my hands and separated and broke my hand, tore my legs up, tore my hip up. That pain was just about equal to me burning myself in my lap with that scalding hot water. That's how bad it was. I know what that feels like. And it leaves you in a space emotionally and physically of desperation, like I would do anything. All that boy could think was that I would do anything. I'll rake leaves. Please, I need some relief. Baby boy, I actually understand exactly what that feels like. That woman deserves every bit of that 40 years because I understand your pain. I know exactly what that felt like. Get this woman 40 years. She deserves it. Leave a comment in the comment section if you guys have a comment or want to share an experience maybe that you might be familiar with, or maybe if you disagree with something I've said, please let me know in the comment section. Keep that autistic boy in your prayers. Thank you.